Welcome to NFL Week 5 edition of Benny versus the Penny. Here's your host, Big Ben Maller.
Well, a big thumbs up, Tom. This is the full edition, not the appetizer, the full edition of Benny versus the Penny. And this is going to be a redemption weekend, Tom. A redemption weekend.
Redemption weekend?
Yes, redemption
Explain.
weekend. Well, last weekend did not necessarily go my way, Tom. It did not go my way. I know we're going to get to that in a couple minutes here.
Right.
Just about everything I thought was going to happen, everything that should have happened did not happen. But that means that I am inching closer to a good week 5 of the NFL season. Now, if you're new to Benny versus the Penny, where have you been? Bad job by you. But we have, listen, we flipped the penny. I'll pick the game. I handicap the game. We flip the penny up in the air. If it lands on heads, it's the home team. If it lands on tails, it's the road team, because you sit on your tuchus when you're traveling and all that stuff. And this week, Tom, we will not be talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. We will not be discussing the Green Bay Packers or the Bears or the Falcons. You know why, Tom?
They're not working.
That's right. They're lazy. They're slumming it. They've got the week off. So the bye weeks have started in the NFL, and teams always would complain, I don't want to have the first bye week. Well, congratulations. Those 4 teams have the first bye week. Deal with it. Enjoy your Cancun vacation and all that, Tom. So why don't we look back before we look ahead?
Before we look forward. Right. One of the great parts of the show is it shows how hard it is to win at sports betting and betting on the NFL, and sometimes a penny can do better than you. Not you, Ben, but you, the viewer. And you, Ben. Congratulations on your NFL Week 4 win over the brainless Penny. 7 wins, 9 losses for you. The inanimate object, 6 wins, 10 losses. As for season totals, Benny has 39 wins and 31 losses. Penny, 30 wins, 40 losses. So
well, that is some loony math, Tom. I don't know that the numbers are exactly like that, but I mean, I'll take that, Tom. I think that loony math works in my favor, which I'm happy about.
Well, I will say I did get through algebra, geometry, and trigonometry, but I had my mother on one side with a fly swatter and a tutor with a gun on the other side of the
Hey, listen, if you're gonna keep score like that, Tom, listen, I'm not gonna buy you a calculator.
So far you like it.
Yes. You're the Russian judge as a Russian competitor. The German judge. My God.
So you're up on the brainless Penny so far this season. Penny, for your thoughts.
All right. My first thought is the drama-o-rama in Philadelphia, the Eagles and A.J. Brown. And we've got the cycle. I said this on the radio show, Tom. We've got the cycle of A.J. Brown where he starts out excited. He then plays in a game. He does not get the football enough, right? So we're over here. We started here. He was happy. Go down here. A.J. Brown's he's upset. He didn't get the ball enough. Then down here, he loses his mind. He goes on a social media rant, ripping everybody. And then we go up here, and then he apologizes for social media rant. And then we go back and we start the process over. So it's the circle of A.J. Brown. I bring this up because he did it again. He apologized earlier this week. Now there's some debate whether or not the Eagles will trade A.J. Brown. And one of the arguments against trading him is a salary cap hit, a dead cap hit, Tom, of $90 million.
Ooh.
90, which is a lot. I'm a salary cap truther, though. I believe the salary cap is fugazi, is what it is, Tom. So if you really want to get rid of someone, you will find a way. I know in the past we had Jared Goff was thought to be dead weight with the Rams, Carson Wentz in Philadelphia. All you have to do is do some loony math like you did with my record. You get the spreadsheet out, you futz around with the numbers, right? You move some things around, bring in a capologist, you restructure some contracts, and it's like Wall Street. You can make it work. Another thought. Now, Tom, we are lean, mean, young wrecking machines. However, did you see C.J. Stroud? You know who that is, Tom? That's a quarterback.
Yes, he was good back in the day.
Yeah, not anymore for the Houston Texans. So C.J. Stroud this week admitted that he has lost quickness now. He's 23, Tom. The man is 20. Are you bleeping kidding me? That is not just premature. That is preposterous. Okay? I mean, that's like saying if I went to the grocery store and I bought some milk and then announcing the milk is now expired before I even opened the fridge, I put it in the fridge. It's now expired. I mean, come on. Your athletic prime goes to roughly 32 or something like that, give or take. But yeah, that's ridiculous. And then Keyshawn Johnson, another thought here, Tom, former NFL player Keyshawn Johnson.
Oh, yes. Now a radio talk show host.
Yeah, he's
Sort of. Yeah.
Well, kind of. I mean, you got to have listeners to be. Anyway, whatever. Listen, Keyshawn, good for him. He made a declaration this week that he is the Sultan of seal blocks. He is the Ayatollah of the edge, containment, all that, the grand poobah of pancakes. He said he's the best, Tom. He said the best blocking wide receiver in NFL history. As you know, the best.
He anointed himself. Okay.
Yeah, he announced he was the and of course, we know the best means as good as all the rest. So Hines Ward, of course, would have an argument there in Pittsburgh back in the day. Steve Smith Jr. or Senior, not Junior, Senior, and there's a bunch of guys. So the great thing about this, Tom, and I learned this years ago, the wonderful thing about hypotheticals is they're great because you're never wrong. Like
Exactly.
you cannot. I live in a hypothetical world. You cannot be wrong if you deal in hypotheticals. You cannot be wrong. Enough of that, Tom. Let's get to the game.
I got a great story about Keyshawn. So our friend, let's say his name was Raj Groves. He was he was a producer at ESPN on the first day of a morning show with Keyshawn Johnson, George Sedano, and somebody else. And his first day, Keyshawn's first day there as a host, Raj walked up to him during commercial and said, "You were a tight end, right?" Just to fuck with him. You were a tight end, right? Isn't that great?
It's wonderful.
Okay, let's get to the games. Cowboys at Jets, one of Keyshawn's teams back in the day in the swamps of New Jersey. Cowboys black and blue from the overtime Sunday night, but Dak Prescott's been playing well all season, and the Jets defense has not. New York getting 2.5 points.
Yeah, this game on Fox. Jason Benetti and Greg Olson have the call. Your friend Greg Olson, you're a big fan of his music career.
His rap music back in the day.
Yeah, he loves to talk about that. Now, this game, Tom, I jotted down on my notes when I was handicapping the game. This game is a hall pass game. We are going to go with the Jets to get off the schneid. Remember that, Tom? Get off the schneid.
Yes. I'm not sure what a schneid is, but we need to get off.
Okay. Here's why. Breece Hall. You see what I did there? Dallas ranks 31st in run defense, according to the Pro Football Focus nerds. They gave up 164 yards to the Packers last week. The Jets, their problem is not running the ball. Their problem is holding on to the ball. 197 yards rushing against Miami last week. So they have the ability with Breece Hall and the mobile. You love your mobile quarterbacks, Tom.
Yes.
And Fields to move the ball on the ground. Now, the issue here is the turnovers. And how do you win a game when you turn the ball over? And you just have to control the tempo. And the Jets were doing that in the last game against Miami. You want to keep the Cowboys defense or keep the Cowboys offense off the field. But Dallas has allowed 420 yards per game. That is worst in the NFL. They gave up 40 points and somehow didn't lose to the Packers last week. The secondary is horrific in Dallas. And my theory, Tom, I'm going to go with an angle here, gambling angle, age-old angle. The Cowboys emotionally drained, Tom, because of Micah Parsons' return to Dallas last week, that Packer-Cowboy game. So I'm not a fan of Justin Fields, as you know. I think he's not very good. Just don't turn the ball over. Use the running game and cut down on the penalties. The Jets are the most penalized team. I saw Sauce Gardner saying, the officials are picking on us. Oh, God, made me want to puke in my mouth. So, listen, I'm going with the Jets. What about the Cowboys?
Okay, now remember, heads home team, tails the visitors. Is how we play this game show.
That's right. It is. It's actually a YouTube show, which is a global platform.
Now we are playing a game. Penny landing on tails. Penny going with the Cowboys. Penny holding his nose and going with the Jets.
Yeah. All right. Where are we going now, Tom?
We are going to Texans and Ravens. Texans finally got a win, but it was a win over the Titans, who stink. And then there's the Ravens. No Lamar, no defense. Big problem for Baltimore. And the Ravens getting 1.5 at home.
Yeah, so everything on this game says, well, you got to take the Texans until you realize the Texans aren't any good either. So, they did blow out the Titans last week, but that game was it was a toss-up game through 3 quarters last week. It wasn't until late in the game, as I remember, where Houston pulled away there. So I'm going to go with the Dead Poet Society on this one. And here's the deal on this. You look at this particular matchup, and you're like, well, the Ravens without Lamar Jackson, they've got no shot. They're screwed, blah, 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 blah. However, if it looks that easy, to me, the Texans should not be favored against anybody. The Ravens defense has been horrific. They're one of the worst defenses in the NFL, and all that. And so you say, well, there's no way the Ravens can win. And they're going to, as you said, Lamar Jackson, it's not, as we're doing this, Benny versus Penny, he hasn't officially been ruled out, but he's most likely going to be ruled out. Do you know who the backup quarterback is for the Baltimore Ravens?
Oh, yes, I do. And unfortunately, Brandon Rush.
Well, or his cousin Cooper Rush is, is the backup quarterback.
Brandon Rush is a Laker, right back.
Now Cooper Rush is your rudimentary quarterback, Tom, right? But this is a game where it should be close, because even though the Ravens defense is terrible, I don't trust C.J. Stroud and the Texans offense to take advantage of those weaknesses that the Ravens have on defense. And this is a game where Derrick Henry, and it's going to be low scoring, and Cooper Rush actually had a winning record when he started for the Dallas Cowboys. So anyway, listen, I can break it down 8 million different ways. Everything says don't pick the Ravens, so I'm taking the Ravens, Tom, and the penny picks.
Okay, let's go with the penny. Did you notice with our banners, they turned the color of the team you pick, the hardworking people we have on this show?
Yes.
It's amazing, the creative ability that they have.
It's unbelievable. The production value.
Penny heads, Penny going with the home team. Both Penny and the Penny taking the chances and walking with the walking wounded Baltimore Ravens.
Well, the people that work over at NBC, they thought we couldn't pull this out of our tuchus, Tom.
Right.
And here we are. I mean, we've got amazing graphics. We've got the scroll from last. I mean, this is just wonderful, just absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, the scroll. I think you're not a big fan of the scroll, at least when it has bad news on it, like your under 500 records.
Well, I just touch up your work a little bit. I just do that. All right, moving on, Tom. Where are we going now?
Vikings and Browns in bloody London, just outside of Surrey, where my Uncle Terry lived for 40 years. Still lives there he lived there with my Uncle Richard. And Browns quarterback for this game is a green banana. Not good when you're going up against Brian Flores in his class action suit Viking defense. Big Ben Cleveland getting 4.5.
Yeah, well, friend of the show, the great Kenny Albert, will be calling this game for the NFL Network, enjoying some fish and chips there in London. Yeah, so originally when I saw this game, I said, okay, you gotta take the team from Minnesota who's playing in London. They've got a travel advantage. As you know, Tom, they had to take boats across the Atlantic Ocean. It takes a long time to get to Europe and all that stuff. So, but the Vikings were there last week. They played in Ireland, and then they traveled over to London, which is not that big a trip here. The more I crunch the numbers here, the reason the Browns have been getting smoked in these games is because Joe Flacco kept turning the ball over. I'm betting that the Browns will run such an elementary offense here with Stefanski as they spoon feed Dylan Gabriel that will not be the case this week, that they will not turn the ball over. And the defense is good enough. And I just do not trust Carson Wentz over a field goal in this game. And there are some things about Dylan Gabriel that are actually a positive, even though I don't really know. I mean, some played in college. Who knows? Minnesota does blitz a lot. He should be able to escape some of the pressure there. Just a short passing game. Quinshawn Judkins, the running back, also has to do well here. But I think there's just too many points. This looks like a field goal game. I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns, and I'll take the points here in a field goal game against the Vikings.
Most famous person ever born in London, Ben.
That would be Donald Trump, President Trump.
No, he was not born in London. It's either Hugh Grant or Queen Elizabeth II, one of the other.
Oh, is that right? Okay, one of them. Yeah, Jack the Ripper. Was he?
Penny, heads. Penny going with the Browns, and Ben Maller throwing caution to the winds and taking the Browns and the points.
You have to be a contrarian, Tom. I've said this for years. It's worked out very well. We've ended up on YouTube. You have to be a contrarian, Tom. You've got to be a contrarian. So where are we going now, Tom?
We're forging forth into the B block, as we call it in the television business, even though we're not in it anymore. We want to alert our affiliates up and down the line. We have 5 more picks in week 5 straight ahead. But first, here's a message from your captain, Ben Maller, about pushing buttons for prescriptions or is it subscriptions? I get them mixed up. Which one's
Yeah,
Viking? Which one is Viking? Which one's Vicodin?
Well, I've
That's a
learned.
prescription. Okay, now it's a
Yeah.
subscription. That's what we want people to do. We want them to subscribe.
Take a breath, Tom. Listen. Here's the deal. By the way, I watched a documentary about have you seen the cocaine quarterback documentary?
No, I haven't. No.
I kind of thought of you because the guy went to a store in Tijuana. I thought, well, that might be.
I've been to those.
Yeah, you have been to those pharmacies. The pharmacias. But no, listen, Tom. This is the part where watching the different YouTubers, the ones that are really popular, that have gotten into the algorithm, right, and the matrix and all that. We need you to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, subscribe and tell a friend. Get the word out there and sign up so you get notifications. We send out at least 2 videos a week on Benny versus the Penny, so you don't want to miss those. And sometimes if you're busy, you're not paying attention. So subscribe and tell somebody about it. Let somebody know about the channel. But let's get back to the games, Tom.
Okay, Commanders, Chargers. Commanders should have Jaden Daniels back as of our taping here. Chargers have a couple of banged up fat guys on the offensive line. Latest line from the Dunes in Las Vegas. It looks like Washington getting 2.5 points.
Yeah, well, and they say in the media world, Tom, in the newspapers, they used to say at press time. Remember they'd say that?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, back in the old days. There used to be these things called newspapers, and people actually read them.
Oh, yeah, they were cool. I remember they were still around when I was born. I liked those.
Really? You're so old, man. I don't even know. Anyway, yeah, you mentioned Jaden Daniels supposed to return for the Washington Commanders. Fun fact on this game, Tom, I will be at this game.
Oh, great.
You know who else is going to be at this game, Tom?
My friend Jay Moore. He's a movie star. He's married to the owner of the Lakers.
Oh, is that right?
He's going to be there.
Yeah. Also, Tom Brady will be there. This is the big game on Fox for some reason. I don't know why. Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady. It's America's Game of the Week, which will lead into baseball, right? Isn't that normally the way it works? Fox, right. They have this, and then they lead into baseball on a Sunday night here. So Washington does get their dynamic running quarterback, Jaden Daniels, back. However, Tom, all right, they are still, based on press time, they're going to miss Terry McLaurin. He's going to be out. Noah Brown out. So the issue is Washington has not been a very good road team. It's a small sample size. They're 0-2 against the spread, Dan Quinn's team. On the road, their defense has not been very good. All right, 27th in road defense so far this year. Now, you mentioned the Chargers. Offensive line is a hot mess at this particular point. Joe Alt is out. Both tackles are likely going to miss this game here. And that said, I don't know that Washington is good enough based on what I have seen to take advantage of that. And Justin Herbert, who runs hot and cold, he's going to have all of his weapons here. And, he goes against a Commanders defense that had, I believe, 12 missed tackles last week, gave up 435 yards to the Falcons last week. The Chargers have a better offense than the Falcons here. The Bolts also have a top 3 defense in the entire NFL. So show me your lightning bolt, Looney. Wow. I am going to take the former San Diego Chargers here.
In Inglewood, the longtime chinchilla capital of the world, but you knew that, Ben.
Yes, the helm of Helmet Man, one of my overnight callers, Helmet Man.
Penny landing on tails. Penny going Washington football team. Benny picking the Chargers and giving away the points.
All right, where are we headed now? Let's go round and round and round and round. Spin.
Broncos and Eagles, city of brotherly love, the birthplace of America, the city that loves you back, the city of neighborhoods, the Quaker City, the cradle of liberty. Long trip on a short week for the Broncos, which is never a good combination. Eagles 4-0, but the numbers don't show a dominant team. Tropicana in Vegas as the Broncos getting 3.5 points.
Well, it's interesting to note, Tom, that Broncos did not take a stagecoach to Philadelphia. They did not take a Greyhound bus. They actually had to hitchhike. All the players had to hitchhike.
They did. Okay, they didn't fly first class.
They had their thumbs out like this, and they were like, yeah, and they're not staying at the Ritz-Carlton. They're not staying at a 5-star hotel in Philadelphia and getting police escorts everywhere they go. No, unless they are. So I'm excited. This is the game I'm most excited about this weekend. I think this has a lot of juice to it. It really does. You've got Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, the big game on CBS.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah.
Look at that, Jim. Look at that, Jim.
Now, what's your opinion on Romo's performance, or not performance, his appearance, Tom? There's some people on the internet that claim there's something going on. Romo's wearing a lot of makeup. He's changed his appearance. They're concerned about him. I mean, he did look like he had a lot of makeup on. Maybe he just had a tough night the night before.
Sometimes when older people lose some weight to do some intermittent fasting. I remember when I was doing some intermittent fasting, and my godson said, "Padrino, you look sick." Thanks.
Yes. Well, that is it's one of the problems when you're fat and you lose weight. People think you're sick. They immediately no one says you look healthy. They say you look sick.
Exactly. Right. So you never know what that is, but I love him on the air. I love the enthusiasm. I love the style.
Well, Broncos and Eagles here. The sharp money is leaning towards Denver, despite Philadelphia being undefeated on the season here, and despite the public is on the side of Philadelphia. The sharp money indicates that the professional gamblers like Denver, and I like Denver too. I'm going to take the Broncos in this game. Both of the Broncos' defeats were walk-off field goal losses to the Colts and the game I was at when they played the Chargers there. So even when they've lost, they've kept the game close here. The Eagles have not won any lopsided games either. That bodes well for Denver here. The Birds have won by margins of 4, 3, 7, and 6 points. They've never pulled away from anybody. Nail biters. They did briefly had a big lead against Tampa, but the Bucs got back in the game. So Jalen Hurts is efficient, but not good. He's not explosive, Tom. The only thing the Eagles are really great at is the tush push. That's it. Jalen Hurts is averaging 152 yards per game passing, which is not good. And you brought up the fact Denver played on Monday night, which is true, and now they travel. But Sean Payton, 11 times in his career as a road underdog on short rest. His team's 8-3 against the spread.
Ooh.
So I am going to take the Denver Broncos to give the Eagles their first loss. They're going to win this game outright. Don't need
that kind of information is why people watch Benny versus the Penny.
That's right.
And you're saying Jalen Hurts manages the game? That's the biggest insult you could give a quarterback.
Yes, that's like saying you look skinny in those jeans. Well, you actually look fat. You said skinny. All right. What about the Penny, Tom? Let's get to it. What do we have?
Let it fly like an eagle. Shout out to Stevie Miller. Penny landing on heads. Penny going with the home team. Benny taking the Broncos and the points.
All right. Where are we headed now, Tom?
We are headed to Buccaneers at Seahawks, Seattle, Washington, a city synonymous with music. And AI says that the state of Washington named after Grover Washington Jr. I did not know that. Famous saxophonist. And I'm told here that the AI that claims that is Allen Iverson. Interesting. Not artificial intelligence. Long trip to Seattle for Tampa Bay. And Seahawks have won 3 straight. They have a stingy defense. Their quarterback is the great Sam Darnold, and the Bucs are getting 3.5. Sam Darnold, one of your favorites.
Now, when I become the leader of the world, Tom, we will have no sports teams that have the same name, like the Cardinals in football and the Cardinals in baseball. We will not have the Giants. We will also not have, how you have Washington, D.C. and Washington State.
Right. Got to fix that.
We can't have that. And also, there should be a rule when a state has been around for a couple hundred years, you can't call it new. Just call it York. Call it Jersey.
You're right.
It's not new. It's been around for a long time. It's not New Hampshire. It's Hampshire, right? It's not new anymore. So when I become the boss.
Great point.
Thank you. That's why I'm here. But as far as the game, Kevin Harlan, friend of Sports Talk Radio and listener, he came up to me and admitted to me he listens when he gets back to Kansas City on his way home from the airport there. He listens to the Ben Maller show, which made me feel really good. I thought he was lying. Because anytime someone says they listen to the show, Tom, I think they're full of crap. But he actually named some of the people that call the show, which would indicate he's not lying.
Right.
Yeah.
Did he mention me?
No, did not mention you at all. But Kevin Harlan, Trent Green have the call. Now, I'd like to take the better quarterback. The better quarterback in this game, even though he's dinged up, is tough. Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold. Now, I'm counting on – I know that the big issue here, and the reason that the point spread is the way it is Tampa's got a bunch of guys who are camping out the great outdoors in the injury tent. But I'm counting on the Bucs defense, even with their injuries, to be able to disrupt Sam Darnold. Because we know when you blitz Sam Darnold, Tom, what does he start to see? He starts
to see his New York Jets uniforms.
Yes, he sees ghosts. He sees poltergeist is what he sees here. So if you can disguise your coverage, blitz Sam Darnold, he will self-destruct. He will go into hero mode. He'll start turning the ball over.
He starts to look like he did with the Jets.
Exactly. So Now, if you on the flip side, if Darnold has a clean pocket, he will carve you up like Lowry's prime rib over there in Beverly Hills. He'll just cut you up. And so Tampa Bay has covered both road games this year. No receiver has been able to get more than 84 yards against that Bucs secondary. So Seattle's big play guy, Jackson Smith in Jigba. Now, you know you're good, Tom, if I've learned how to say your name, and it's spelled Njigba. You know you've got to be good. It's like the Greek freak in basketball, Giannis Antetokounmpo. You have to be good when you have a name like that for us to learn how to say your name. So Jackson Smith and Jigba, very good receiver, but the Bucs have done good here, stopping guys like that. Seattle, though, they have failed to cover the spread 7 of their last 8 games as favorites following a divisional game. They played Arizona last week. And so I'm going to take the Buccaneers and my guy Todd Bowles. I love Todd Bowles. Great soundbite, average coach, and Baker Mayfield. And the penny picks.
Okay. Let's see what the penny says.
Here we go. The drama is building.
There we go. Penny letting on heads, Penny going to Seahawks.
I see the penny. I see it. I see it right there.
There you go. And Benny with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right. Where are we going now?
Patriots at Bills. Patriots looked impressive last week, but the Carolina Panthers aren't walking through that door, Big Ben. It's the mighty Buffalo Bills and the Stardust in Vegas has New England getting 8.5 points.
Well, the Bills screwed me over last week, Tom. They did not cover against the lowly New Orleans Saints. That's embarrassing for your Buffalo Bills here. This is the Sunday night game, which means Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth on NBC. So I'm going to take the Patriots. I do not trust the Buffalo defense with this big a number. They are out of the bubble of trust based on what happened last week. The Josh Allen Bills, it appears they're kind of playing with their food here, even if they've survived every game. They're 4-0. Even the Dolphins were right there in the fourth quarter. So Buffalo, they have had some issues here, struggling to cover these large spreads. And New England, they've actually been playing pretty well here, despite facing some pretty weak offenses. The Bills are just 22nd in opponent EPA, Tom. That's that defensive.
The Environmental Protection Agency?
Yeah, expected performance, blah, 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 blah. Now, that is a red flag, especially against a Patriots offense that, granted, they played Carolina, but they still put up 42 points last week. Now, the key for New England in this game, based on a minutes-long deliberation approved by Alf, the alien opiner, the Patriot running backs, Trayvon Henderson, and the fumble-prone Ramondre Stevenson, they should just shine here. Tom. Buffalo ranked 28th in EPA allowed per handoff, 29th in run stop, according to Pro Football Focus. That's a lot of nerd stuff, Tom. But the bottom line, ground and pound for the New England Patriots here, control the clock. And this is a big opportunity for Drake May on an island game, Tom, an island game.
Incredible.
Impress some people.
Some of my favorite teams to watch have no defense.
Yeah, that's about right. What happened? The Ravens always had defense, not anymore.
No.
But anytime, what's the rule, Tom? Anytime you get a touchdown or more in a divisional game,
you take the points.
You either take the points or you don't bet the game. We bet every game, so I'm going to take the points, take the Patriots. The penny picks.
Okay, let's see if the penny is on that Patriots bandwagon, along with Big Ben Maller.
Yeah,
right.
Let's do it. Here we go.
Penny, I had brainless Penny going with the Bills. Ben Maller, who allegedly has a brain, picking against the Buffalo Bills.
Well, I have a brain, but I don't need to use it all the time, Tom. Because I do sports talk radio. So.
It's true. That's true. And your listeners don't use theirs.
Well, wow, there you listen. I have some of the smartest people. The great thing is I've met listeners, Tom, that are tenured college professors that listen to the show. Can you believe that?
I met both of those guys. Yeah, they're very loyal listeners.
It was so funny too because I've done these meet and greets and we will go out and a lot of the people are down on their luck, right? Give me you're hungry, you're tired, you're poor, all that. And then there'll be other people that are really wealthy and they're like, what am I doing here? I should not be. It's like going to the track. I love the track because you go to the horse track. There's super wealthy people driving Bentleys, and then there's people that have no money and are just there trying to win a exacta and cash in. So it's pretty cool. Where are we going now, though, Tom?
I once met Amy Trask, who was the president of the Raiders, and when I met her, she came up and she said she was a fan, and I said to her, "Well, it's really surprising to me when I meet really intelligent fans. And then it makes me think, she loved it. She loved it. So did her husband.
That's a good line. Yeah. Well, the Vegas one, there was a guy who's like a big construction executive in Vegas, and he came out to the event, and it was so funny because like some of those guys were legitimately homeless who were everybody. It was pretty good. All right, where are we going now, Tom?
Chiefs at Jaguars, Jacksonville, Florida, the Greyhound bus stop on your way to Orlando, Monday Night Football. And Ben, I'm going to have to give an opinion here that you probably won't hear anywhere else other than here on Betty versus Betty. All the Chiefs have to do to win this football game and cover the spread, they have to play Kansas City Chief football.
Well, thank you, Tom. You did not miss that day at Sportscaster Clown College.
No, I did not. Jacksonville getting 3.5 points here.
Yeah, this is the big Monday night game. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, the Manning cast, all that. And as you know, Kansas City's got a place in my heart, Tom. They have the only place in the United States, the only place in the world that has the Ben Maller chicken fingers on the menu there. Liberty, Missouri, the city, and the just wonderful people there. Just can't say enough about the landing in Liberty. So, but that being said, I'm in it to win it, Tom. I'm not here to lose. I'm here to win. I'm going to take the Jaguars in this game plus the 3.5. Here's why. Home dog getting points with shockingly a pretty solid defense. In fact, Jacksonville, we mentioned these nerd stats. Jacksonville leads the entire NFL in opponent EPA per play. They're 5th in opponent success rate, which is good, I'm told. And they're 3rd in defensive DVOA, whatever that is. But listen, it all gets back to the same point, right? What does it mean? It means that they have been consistently able to disrupt the opponent's offense and force inefficient plays. And the Jaguars, now the issue here is, can they do this against the Chiefs, right? This is a different level of competition. Can they force Mahomes into quick decisions and limit the deep shots? If they can do that, they're going to be right there. Now, my concerns are with Trevor Lawrence. Is there a bigger enigma than Trevor Lawrence? Like $200 million guy, and he's the 32nd ranked quarterback. You know, you love your quarterback rankings, Tom.
Yes, I do. Ugh, that's
not good.
Yeah,
not
at least for people who don't follow the quarterback rankings, that's not good.
Yeah, Kansas City is 8th in scoring defense here. Now, for the Jaguars to win this game, I don't know, to win the game's a little much, but to keep it close and to cover the spread, Travis Etienne, the running back here, going to be the focal point. He's so good that he can break a few chunk plays against that top 10 Chiefs defense here and, kick a field goal here, get a turnover there. Jacksonville is 3-1 against the spread. Duval County. I'm going to take the Jaguars plus the points and the penny picks down.
Okay, let's see what the penny says. Number 1 quarterback in the quarterback rating is Lamar Jackson, Big Ben, by a bullet. Betting on heads, Benny and the penny both going with the hometown Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, Tom, you're in the big chair. Where are we going now? We're
dovetailing to the C block. Let's look at our loose change. Fire up the banner for our loose change, please. Okay, there we go.
Look at that.
Benny picks every game our loose change, and the games we consider loose change are the ones you don't hear on the show or on the award-winning YouTube sensation. Benny versus the penny. Benny and the penny both taking the Dolphins, giving away the points against the Panthers, and taking the Bengals and 10 points against the Lions. And what else we got? Benny and the brainless penny both siding with the Saints against the Giants and giving away the 1.5 points to the G-men. Benny and the penny disagreeing on Titans Cardinals, with Benny taking the Titans and the points. Penny going with Arizona. Ben also taking the Raiders and 6.5 points against the Colts. Penny disagrees, landing on heads and going with the home team with the horseshoes on their helmets.
Yes, and also there you can see on the graphic there. Good job by the graphics department.
The
Dolphins, and I can't believe I'm picking the Dolphins on the road. That's how bad Carolina is. My God. All right. What else we got here, Tom?
Well, a number of nattering nabobs of NFL nuggets knocking around your numbskull noggin this week, Ben. Make it make sense.
Yes, I will make it make sense here. I loved Brian Callahan. You talk about a guy being in over his head, the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. So he was asked about Cam Ward, pointing out that the Titans are, in his words, ass. He said, do you think that Brian Callahan, A, said, I agree with Cam Ward's analysis that we are ass. B, we aren't ass. C, no comment. Or D, I wish he would have said something different. The answer, Yeah. The answer is D. And I love the way he said it. He's like, well, you're quarterback, you're the face of the franchise. And he's like, I think it's a growing process. He says he has to understand the weight of his words. No, see, this is the issue. These guys get indoctrinated, and then it's one of the reasons that we, as sportscasters, we get jaded and cynical because they all lie to it. They lie to your face.
Well, they lie to your face. They say the same things like we just have to go out and play Kansas City Chief football.
Yeah, we just got to bring our A game, make fewer mistakes. I believe in my team. No, listen, sometimes you're ass, and the Titans are ass. They're tookus. That's what they are. And my other thought is, and you're kind of the medical guy on Benny versus the Penny, Tom, so I want to run this by you. So okay. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa this week explained that the reason he believes he hasn't had concussions as recently here is because of his diet, that his doctors have recommended a diet of carbs and water. And because of that, it says he's kind of flushed out, brain, obviously mostly water. Most of us, our bodies are water. So Tom, let me get your medical perspective as someone who's been to every pharmacia in Tijuana. Why, Tom, that you can avoid concussions? This sounds like the nano bubble stuff that Russell Wilson was hawking, which most people thought was snake oil years ago. Do you believe, Tom, that just eating carbs and then drinking water will prevent concussions?
No, and I don't believe we should get our medical information from football players.
No, really?
And I also want to mention a shout out to the pharmacies in Puerto Vallarta and Oaxaca and the other ones that I've visited who you've left out of the conversation. They need a shout out as well.
I understand. Now, I had a guy, one of my favorite callers, his name is Danny DeVito. Can you imagine having the name Danny DeVito?
Wow.
Yeah, he's a trash man in Boston, right? His name is Danny DeVito. And I bring this up because I got an email I guess it was this morning as we're doing this in real time, because Danny did about a 5-minute segment on the show giving investment advice. And I thought of you. And I thought, well, should you take investment advice from a trash man from Boston calling into a radio show at 5 a.m. in Boston? It was that kind of thing. So it was pretty amusing.
One time I invested in $1,000 in the Recovery Network, and it went right up because it was $1 a share. I thought, people love AA and talking about themselves and that stuff. So it went up to $5 a share, and I immediately cashed in. And then I was an expert, and I was giving advice as I did to you and my friend Tim Conway Jr. I was sending him.
I've heard him. He's a famous talk show.
Yes, and so son of the legendary comedian. So I sent him an email making some recommendations on stocks, and he forwarded it to his father. And his father said, "Well, tell me more about this guy." Conway says, "Well, he lives in an apartment in East LA above a liquor store." Which is where I lived at the time. So
well, I am the worst when I take advice. Like I took real estate advice from you. I'm still underwater. I took a blind Scott, one of the overnight callers. He recommended a weed stock. I said, how could a weed stock? Everyone's smoking weed, right? It's legal most places. So I invested in it. It's the only weed company to ever go bankrupt. What I invested in. Like, I don't even know how that's possible. They make so much money. I knew a guy that was an NBA player who the guy lived in Oregon. He got one of the first licenses to sell weed in Oregon. He told me, and this guy played about 8-9 years in the NBA. He made more money from selling weed legally in Oregon than he did as an NBA player.
Wow.
There's so much money in it. Anyway. Enough of that. All right, so Benny versus the Penny, Tom. Again, next week we'll have 2 episodes every week, at least 2 episodes breaking all these games down.
By the way, and the viewer should go buy a lottery ticket because you're watching 2 guys from Los Angeles on YouTube who don't go to the weed shop. So 2 in one room here.
Yeah, so, exactly. We don't do that. Anyway, have a wonderful glorious day, and
make sure you watch Benny versus the Penny every week. It only makes sense.
I'm waving goodbye.
Oh, you are? Okay. Does that mean